Hello Libra, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Libra for the week of April 18th. Now, do keep in mind, this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and just know that I will not send you a direct message or any type of message on any platform anywhere. So do keep that in mind. If you do get a message from someone, they are impersonating me and trying to take your money, so please do not get scammed. I also do exclusive content on my Instagram, so if you'd like to give me a follow there, there's a link to that in the description below. Let's go ahead and see what we have here for you. Now, less than 50% of the people who watch my content are actually subscribed, and so if you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please do consider doing that. It really helps my channel grow in a big way. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up and in view here, and then we'll start to get into it here for you. We'll go ahead and put this over here, and we'll also take 3 Kipper cards to clarify as we go along. I think that looks good enough to me. Libra, time of change and completions coming in for you here. Okay, not only now, but also in the future. And I don't think this has to imply a negative change at all. In fact, I do think that there is an interesting energy here of timelines ending and new timelines beginning for you. I do think that the past has maybe required you to let something go, move on from something, and in doing that, I do feel that you have maybe been realized, or you maybe have been made aware of a new timeline that has been available to you. The reality is that we all have multiple timelines that we can live on, and they're always available to us. It's just our ability to become aware of those timelines. And I think some of you have created this awareness here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So in your overall message, powerful card here in the overall message in the middle of the deck, or in the middle of the board here, in the middle of the spread, you have the World. So the World is a card that talks about cycles completing. It is the completion of something big, and yes, it is big because you have literally gone through the entire journey of the major arcana, and you are now essentially sitting at the top of the world, or standing at the top of the world. And so this is about old cycles ending, or the cycle that you've been in being completed and ending, but also new cycles beginning for you here. So major energies of completions here for you. It's also Saturn energy. It can bring about travel, like long distance travel in your life. I don't know that that is implied here for you yet. We always go through and clarify with more cards, but what I do know is that there is something ending for you and something beginning. In fact, we're going to talk about these 3 cards in the future here together, but this is a big, when you put these 3 cards together here, it's pretty big energy of cycles, timelines, completions, things like that. Now, in the past, you have the Hanging Man and the 3 of Swords. So there has been a situation here for you where you've realized that you really had to let go of something. The Hanged Man is holding on, okay? And really, when you get the Hanged Man, it says that there's something's got to give. You got to give something up to get something else. Because in their current state, where they are not growing. They are staying where they are. They are stagnant here. Okay, this is stagnancy. They are not growing in their current situation. And so for some of you, whether you did it or an event happened that caused this to happen, you have let go. Okay, you have cut the cable, whether you did it or like I said, there was a heartbreaking situation maybe here in the past that has forced you to let go of something. The 3 of Swords talks about the heartbreak in our lives that can happen at any time. Of course, this can be about a relationship change, right? This can talk about divorce, separation, or just a breakup between you and another person. But it's really a card that speaks to, changes and severance and separating from something, which is actually, it's almost like blessing in disguise energy here showing up. I would not be surprised to see the Tower in this reading, and I would not be concerned about it, because there is this sort of interesting blessing in disguise energy here, where it's almost like, I almost feel like something happened where it was like, okay, I have no choice, but I have to let go. I have no choice but to let go at this time. And it may have been very challenging as it was happening, but I do feel like ultimately it has also led you to something new. And I think it also has brought awareness of a timeline that you can move on to, that you may enjoy more than the timeline you were on. Hopefully that makes sense. In the future, you have the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Okay, so this 3-card combination here is pretty incredible. Both the World and the Ten of Swords can talk about endings in our lives. Now, the Ten of Swords is it's implied that the Ten of Swords is a much more challenging situation, in that it can represent an ending around being defeated, versus the World's like a sense of a certainty, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of having gone through something big and completed something. The Ten of Swords can be like, yeah, there's an ending because you've been defeated, or something was lost, or someone's been lost in your life. But it really depends on how you view the world. Like, if you're a more positive person, if you're more like glass half full type of person, this Ten of Swords really is an opportunity to release yourself from what doesn't work. And also it says that there's new hope on the horizon, and there's a new beginning. The worst is behind you. The Ace of Wands, and really any ace, can represent new beginnings in your life. So like I said here, this 3-card combination is about cycles, timelines ending out, closing out, cycles, timelines closing out, new timelines beginning. New timelines beginning for you. And the Ace of Wands in particular is perhaps my favorite card. I go back and forth. It's one of my top 3 probably favorite cards to find in a tarot reading, because the Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. It's something that you genuinely love to do. It's something that you genuinely want to be doing. Something that you genuinely want to be moving towards. And it can bring about the ignition of an important project in your life, such as starting a business, starting turning a talent into a business, or turning a hobby and passion into a profit. It's a very good card. So let's go ahead and move up the pyramid here. So you have the Queen of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords, 8 of Swords, wow, and you have the Moon. So there's a heavy swords energy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these initial cards are swords, which is significant. More than half of the cards here are swords energy. Swords, it's seen as like a challenging suit, and many of the challenging cards that you find in your hero's journey through the tarot are in the suit of swords. But again, here's the thing. I don't know anybody who hasn't faced adversity in this lifetime, right? It's like adversity is what makes us like extremely powerful beings. And if I'm looking here, what I see is that there has been a separation from somebody in the past. The Queen of Swords is somebody who's fiercely independent. They may even prefer to be single, or they may even just prefer to go at life alone for large stretches in their life. And for some of you here, there has been a clear moving away from something. There's also swords. You can think of swords as like cutting energy, right? Like the Queen of Swords cuts through whatever's no longer serving them. And, with this hanging man, you've had to cut that cable that the hanging man's dangling by and start free falling and see where you go, see where you land, see what opportunities are available, because where this person is, there are no opportunities present. And so there has been a separation, there has been a sort of cutting energy in the past, but it's made way, or it is making way for this new timeline that you're now aware of, which is exciting for you. Swords is also about intellect. It's about logic. It's about rationality. It's about communication as well. And all of these energies could be present for you in a big way, particularly maybe challenging, having to work through issues around, challenges around communication. That could certainly be coming in here. The Knight of Swords is really this idea that there's an event happening quickly. It'd be wise for you to take advantage of it. And I think you've done that. I think you've started free falling in a good way. I think you've started seeing what has been available to you this entire time, this timeline that's been available to you this entire time. And this has required you to let go of whatever was not clear, with the murky water of the moon and this Eight of Swords, you not being able to see something, not having a vision. You've started to create a vision here. Ace of Wands could be about a vision coming in. Let's go ahead and take a look at these 3 cards here. So you have occupation, unexpected income, and courthouse. This is interesting. So you could be getting a bump in money, or you could be, it's almost like on the career front, things are going well. I do think some of you may have gone through a divorce, or you may be going in that situation now. That won't resonate for everybody, but I do feel like I'm getting this courthouse energy is throwing me off, because this is very good. It's like your career energy looks good with this Ace of Wands, the completions, but there is also something that has been lost, or something has closed out, or something that is no longer with you in your life. And I do want to see what else this is. Message of concern. I wonder if some of you are involved in a legal situation, because swords can also be represented, is the suit of the law as well. It can be. And I do wonder if some of you are in that right now. I don't see it coming in. I mean, we have more swords here in the past. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and move up the pyramid to get some more messages. You have the Six of Wands. You have the Nine of Pentacles. You have the King of Wands. Okay, this is a very specific message for somebody, or for some people. I get the sense that some of you have decided to go out on your own in business. I think that some of you, what you've had to part with is what you always did for your career. Like maybe you went to school to become a lawyer, and you spent all that time, all that money, all that energy and effort studying to become a lawyer. You were a lawyer, and now you've realized that there's a different timeline for you, where there's something that you're more interested in, and now you're letting go of being a lawyer, and you're becoming something new. You're becoming something new. The example that I give in my personal life is I was a web developer, web designer for a long time, and that was a big part of my identity. But I had to let go of that in pursuit of this new situation for myself, which is YouTube. And I love YouTube a lot more. And so it's almost like some of you, whatever situation you find yourself in, you've had to do that. You've had to let go of this old identity. And as a result, there's something that is coming in here that is extremely good. Six of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, King of Wands. Amazing energy for enterprise, for business, for your career, for work. Six of Wands is a victory, a big victory. Even maybe putting yourself, maybe you are starting a YouTube channel, or you have started a YouTube channel. It can be putting yourself out there in the public eye. King of Wands is the classic entrepreneur. You actually have my big energy of self-employment here with the King of Wands and the Ace of Wands. That's a big energy that I look for, and the occupation card for that. And the Nine of Pentacles is you interested in your financial independence. And having the support available, the resource available to do that. Let's move up the pyramid here. You have this Two of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So you knew there was a new road ahead for you. You knew there was this, look at this, right? I've been talking about how there was a timeline you were on, and then you recognize that there are now more timelines available, which there always have been, by the way. There always are. It's just your awareness of them. And so now you're exploring this other one. And, I do feel like maybe some of you are afraid that maybe it's an oversaturated, this is very specific, but I feel like maybe some of you are a little bit afraid of competition, like it's maybe an oversaturated market, or you're not going to make it, or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you feel a push towards something, the Seven of Wands says stand your ground. Don't let anybody else decide for you. See what's at the top of the pyramid here. Wow, what did I say at the beginning of this reading? I would not be surprised to see the tower, and I would not be concerned. And you have the tower at the top of the pyramid. It's a blessing in disguise. This is what this is. This is a blessing in disguise. The tower here, as I always like to say, this tower doesn't have any doors on it. And this person that's falling from the tower now has a door out of the imprisonment that they put themselves in. And so the tower, although a feared moment in the tarot, is really truly a blessing in disguise because it's a revelation. It's a deep insight. It's a spiritual insight, and it's a way out of a situation that was not so good. And I talked about that in this reading. This is incredible. So now on the bottom, yeah, look, Page of Wands. Good news, good offers, good opportunities, exciting energy coming in from maybe somebody else, but also just maybe from the universe as well, which I feel like a very spiritual connection to this reading. So amazing. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. I'll see you in the next reading.